Right, hopefully we can sort out this microphone issue. So if anybody can just give me a heads up whether the mic is working now, I would appreciate that if you guys can let me know. Right, it seems like it's working fine now. So yeah, basically what I said is Warren Gatland don't have too much of a different team to pick off today. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I'm just quickly going to run through what I think it would look like. So yeah, the back three for me, Stuart Hawke, Liam Williams, and Anthony Watson is pretty straightforward. Stuart Hawke has been deserving his opportunity for some time now. Although he makes a few mistakes here and there, I still feel that he should be the starting 15. Obviously, we know Liam Williams can play on the wing as well as on the fullback, as well as Anthony Watson. So I think that's the reason why we went with this selection overall. And then quickly going through my centers, Jonathan Davies, Gary Ringrose, Robbie Henshaw. And then I also threw in a surprise selection of Hugh Jones. So yeah, whether he will get picked, that's a big question. I think it's pretty straightforward for the rest. George North is injured, as well as Manu Tuolangi hasn't been able to play for quite some time now. So it will be interesting to see whether he might get the notch before anybody else. And then obviously Robbie Henshaw has been the man in form as of late. So yeah, looking forward to this announcement, and not exactly sure at which time they will be announcing, but they have crossed over live from SuperSport in South Africa and just chatting through. So while they're busy, we will go through this. Fly-offs, I opted to go with Owen Farrell, Dan Biggar, and Finn Russell. I don't think there's too much argument there. Jonathan Sexton has been off par for quite some time now, and I just don't see him getting selected above any of these three players. Now, it will also be interesting to see if Owen Farrell will be used as inside center or at fly-off, because I know the debate is quite there. I don't know what you guys think. Should Owen Farrell be playing at inside center or fly-off to make space maybe for Dan Biggar, who's been in exceptional form for Northampton as of late? And then we also know Finn Russell should be there. Whether he's a starting fly-off, that is another question altogether, because we know that he tends to make some really stupid mistakes at vital times, but he does have that X factor that you need in your side to be able to win these big games. So it's going to be really interesting to see. But as far as the fly-offs, I think that is a straightforward pick. Then having a look at the Scrum-Halves that I picked, Conor Murray, Ali Price, and Gareth Davies. Now, I know maybe two of these guys might not make this tour, but I mean, we've had Danny Kerr, who has been really good for England. He's probably the in-form scrum-half at the moment in England. So it will be interesting to see if Ali Price, who've had a super Six Nations with Scotland, will get the notch. Now, obviously, Conor Murray should be the first choice scrum-half. A lot of people said that Conor Murray and Jonathan Sexton would be the starting lineup for this British and Irish Lions a couple of years back. But yeah, both players have had a dip in form. And hopefully Conor Murray can pick that form up, because he's going to need to be at his best against a team including Faf de Klerk and probably Kobus Reinach and Herschel Jantjies. So yeah, I feel it's going to be a tough task for these guys if they are going to be part of this Lions tour. Then going through the props that I had, Tadgh, Furlong, Kyle Sinckler, Zander, Fagerson, Wyn Jones, Joe Marler, and Rory Sutherland. Now, as rumors have it, Joe Marler haven't got an invite for this British and Irish Lions tour, so we could probably be scrapping his name already from the equation. It should be interesting to see who they decide to go with in his place. Maybe it opens up the door for Alan Jenge, which I do believe is a really quality player, but whether he can start a test is another question altogether. And then I don't see maybe Kane Healy from Ireland getting the notch as well. He is an experienced outfit, so I think further down it is pretty simple as to who is going to be in the squad. Then at locks, I had Alun-Wyn Jones as the captain for this tour as well. Maro Itoje would be joining him, probably in the lock combination to start the tests. I picked James Ryan in front of Ian Henderson just for that X factor. I mean, Ian Henderson is quite straightforward. You know exactly what to expect from him. On the other hand, James Ryan has got that little grunt that is going to be needed up front to really destroy the South Africans in that regard. And then obviously Johnny Gray has been really consistent throughout for Scotland and his club. I don't really see anybody else pipping them to the lock combination. The forward combination, the loose forward combination, is going to be a very interesting one, because there's so many quality players in Europe at the moment that you really can't decide who to go with. So I initially went with Tom Curry, Talupi Faletau, Justin Tipuric, CJ Zander, Sam Underhill, Tadgh Byrne, and Hamish Watson. Now, rumors also have it that Sam Simmons will make the squad. It's just a question of who they're going to drop. Now, I know Sam Underhill hasn't played any rugby as of late, but you could clearly see England missing him in that vital games where it could have gone anyway. And I think it would be stupid of Gatland not to go with Sam Underhill as that little trump card that they need. Now, I mean, CJ Zander, Talupi Faletau, and Tom Curry can all play number 8. So at the end of the day, it just makes sense to have these versatile loose forwards in the squad and see where we go from there. And then Tadgh Byrne has been exceptional. He can go down at lock or flanker. So it is going to be very interesting to see who they go with at the end of the day. Now, Hamish Watson has proven himself over and over throughout the Six Nations. It's such rubbish that they say you're too small to play against the Springboks. Because if you really look at it, probably one of our best flankers in the world have been Heinrich Brousseau, and he's not that big. He's actually the same size as Hamish Watson. I think Watson is even a little bit taller than him, but it is going to be really interesting to see, because there's so many players that's getting left out here. Billy Vunipola has been dropped for my team because I just feel that he hasn't really lived up to the expectations, and you can't just pick a player on his reputation anymore. Then I would rather go with Sam Simmons ahead of him. There's even Zach Merker, who's been really good at number 8, another Englishman. And then obviously there's so many quality players. So that is basically my squad for the Lions team. Guys can leave a comment and tell me what you guys think of it. Obviously, I'm not a rugby expert and I could make mistakes here and there. But for the most part, I think I'm pretty spot on. There might be guys like Hugh Jones that don't make it. Ali Price might not make it. Likes of Gareth Davies might not make it. But furthermore down, I don't really see anybody in the place of those guys. Now, I have missed my wingers, so I will just quickly tell you guys, Johnny May, the likes of Louis Rees-Zammit, definitely supposed to be there. You've got Josh Adams from Wales, who've been really good in the past few years, and I just don't see him being replaced by a guy that's only made his mark this year. And the one name that is missing from my lineup is Duan van der Merwe. Now, he's still so young, he can still make another Lions tour, maybe 1 or 2 even. So I wouldn't say dropping Duan van der Merwe in the place of Josh Adams or Johnny May would make a difference to how these Lions team perform. And I do believe that having Louis Rees-Zammit there that's already inexperienced at this level is enough, because I know South Africa will definitely go to the air quite a lot. We've seen it in the World Cup, the strategy that and game plan that they've had under Rassie Erasmus is going to be probably the same under new head coach. So expect a lot of aerial kicking from South Africa in that regard. Faf de Klerk, Hendrik Pollard, Willie Leroux, if he makes the squad. We will be smashing them with aerial kicks. And for that, you need the likes of Anthony Watson, Liam Williams, Stuart Hawke, and also the likes of Johnny May there. I don't think if you have a combination of Duan van der Merwe and Louis Rees-Zander there with Stuart Hawke, who tends to make some vital mistakes at times, to have them there against such an experienced South African side, for me, would just be suicide anyway. But yeah, like I said, I'm not 100% sure at what time they will be announcing the team. But in the meantime, we'll just have a little bit of rugby banter. I don't know. I don't get too much comments at this stage, so not really too much to talk about at the moment. So yeah, if any of you guys have any suggestion as to who will be picked in this Lions team, you can go ahead, and I will put the comments on the screen so that we can discuss this and see where we're going with this in the future. But as for now, they're just doing some interviewing with some players, discussing the game as well. So yeah, not too much to go by at this stage. Like I say, it is all but a given to who this team will be. My team probably will have 1 or 2 players that won't be part of this initial squad, and some might not even be so popular, as I already know that Joe Marler is out. He didn't get his invite from Warren Gatland, according to some rumors. Gary Bevan says, having a beer and waiting. That is all we can do at this stage. Now, it is a bit early for me to have a drink. It is 1 o'clock here in South Africa. So, yeah, I'll have to do with an empty cup of coffee that I finished before I started the stream. Just glad I sorted out this whole mess with the sound, because it got me just a little bit worried here for a second. So, yeah, I'm glad that we're up and running and awaiting this Lions announcement. It's such a big announcement, you know. We've waited 4 years for this announcement to come through and see who's going to be part of the squad. We've seen players hit form 2 years before. We've seen players hit form just now. So it is going to be really interesting to see whether Gatland will go with what he thought about 2 years ago compared to the players that's hit form now. Because, I mean, 2 years ago, Sam Simmons was nowhere to be found. Louis Rees-Zander were nowhere to be found. The likes of Johnny Sexton, Connor Murray, they were all hitting form at different times, and it kind of let you choose your side beforehand. And in the end of the day, it all comes down to this now today. And if players are not on form, then they're not on form. So unfortunately, some good players will be missing out. Is there any particular player that you guys think will miss the call up to the British and Irish Lions? Just waiting, because I do have my sound a little bit on just to hear exactly when they're going to announce the team. But yeah, now so far it's just a waiting game. Nothing that we can do about it. Gary Bevan says, I think he might pick Jamie Roberts. Now, we all know Jamie Roberts is an exceptional player, but unfortunately we've come to a part in his career where I just don't think he's good enough. That's just my personal opinion, Gary. It's better, more or less the same as with Johnny Sexton. I think they're all still quality players, but whether they've got the gas to match the South African side. You know, Jamie Roberts had played for the Stormers a year before COVID strike, and he did pretty damn well for that Stormers in the midfield. But then again, it is another year on since then, and it could potentially count against him because of his age. And And I mean, there's so many quality centres. We know George North is out. Manu Tuolangi would probably not get there. But it's going to be interesting. I think if Manu Tuolangi can prove his fitness, I think he's going to be on display. Bertie says, I think Sexton might miss out. I do agree with you there, Bertie. I think Dan Biggar, Owen Farrell, as well as Finn Russell might be the combination there. So I'd be very surprised if they do pick Johnny Sexton for this game, for this tour. I think the best thing that they could possibly do is maybe add him on as one of the management players who can guide these youngsters where needed and give a little bit of advice here and there. I think he should be on a management team. Gary says we need a ball carrier in midfield in South Africa. Now, yeah, it's going to be tough. Like I said, I thought Manu Tuolangi is the perfect candidate for that, because every time he gets ball, he goes on the front foot, and that's what's so important about him. I mean, obviously, he hasn't touched a rugby ball for about 6 months now, but I mean, if he can prove himself good enough and fit to go, then he should be one of the first names on this Lions team. And then if he does not make it, I think Robbie Henshaw would be the perfect candidate. He's shown that he can take the ball forward, and he's been pretty solid in the Six Nations. Then Bertie says, yeah, maybe for some experience. So, yeah, I wouldn't pick Johnny Sexton as a player. I would pick him on the management team to guide these guys like Finn Russell. I mean, Dan Biggar don't really need any advice from anybody, because he's not that young anymore and a very experienced player himself. But I do think the likes of Finn Russell could maybe be good to have some guidance from a guy like Sexton. I know they've played against each other for many years now, but I mean, experience can't be bought. You have to get it by playing. And I think Finn Russell has been injured in and out, dropped in and out. So I think he's got a lot of experience of getting dropped than rather having that experience to play big matches. So he has shown in the Six Nations that he's a worthy candidate. But while Owen Farrell haven't done that, I think Owen Farrell will step to the occasion only if he can keep his arm intact. Because I'm telling you, with the rules these days and the cards being given as it is, I think Owen Farrell is probably the one player that risking getting sent off during this test matches. So, yeah, let's hope he's worked on his tackling technique. They said he did, but I clearly can't see that. We've seen it in a few games. His tackling has been very, how can you say, inconsistent to say the least. He's had some lucky ones that he got away with. And yeah, I don't know. Gary Bevins says, I have a feeling that Simon Zebo might make it. Now, Simon Zebo has fallen out of favor with the Irish coach, and we all know that he's not part of this coaching team for the Lions. So, I mean, Simon Zebo for me is a quality player, but who do you leave out? Because as far as I know, Simon Zebo is a fullback / winger, so you'd probably end up with him playing either those two positions. So now you have the question of having Stuart Hawke, Liam Williams, Anthony Watson, then Louis Rees-Zammit, Josh Adams, Johnny May, and who's the other winger that I did pick? I can't remember now. But it's going to be tough for Simon Zebo to make it, especially now that he's out of favor. I think it's basically the same situation as Sam Simmons. He's such a quality player, but he's not recognized by the England coach for selection, although his name gets mentioned for the British and Irish Lions. So it's one of those things that's really strange. I know Sam Simmons are a fan favorite in England. Eddie Jones absolutely don't want to pick him, and that has cost him some really harsh comments over the last couple of months. Gary Bevins says Johnny May. Now, the only issue that I have with that, Gary, and I might be a little biased because I'm a big Johnny May fan. I mean, he's been one of the players I look at as being one of the most experienced and most valuable players for this tour. So I know his form has been a bit wandering at the moment, but I mean, if I had to pick between Johnny May and Simon Zevo, I would probably still go for Johnny May. But then again, like I said, I think I might just be a little biased towards Johnny May. Could maybe leave out somebody else. It's like, for instance, the likes of Anthony Watson. I absolutely think that he's one of the most overrated players in world rugby at the moment. I don't share the people's views and thoughts of Anthony Watson, and the only reason why I picked him in my team was that he could cover at fullback as well if needed to. So if it wasn't for that, Duan van der Merwe for me would have been on that plane to gain that experience that's needed to really get people excited and going, because you already got the Louis Rees-Zammit factor there, which making people very, very intrigued about this tour and to see where and how he will play. So I think if we had Duan there, it would have been really interesting. But at the end of the day, you have to go for experience as well in these sort of situations. And yeah, I just feel that Johnny May is going to be a key factor in this Lions team. Right, let's see if we're going anywhere at the moment. So it seems like Alun-Wyn Jones have been named the captain of this Lions team at the moment. So let me just see if I'm correct. Can't say because, well, he is definitely part of the squad. So I think it is fair enough to say that Alun-Wyn Jones have been named the captain of this British and Irish Lions side. I might be wrong, guys, but I think he's the first man there and talking at the moment. It's really frustrating that I can't hear what's going on, really. But it does seem like Alun-Wyn Jones will be the captain for this Lions team. Let me just write it down so that everybody can see it. Right, so there we go. Alun-Wyn Jones have been announced as the captain by Gatland. And it should be, well, we all saw it coming, really, because there wasn't too many guys that could have been picked as captain, you know. It was always going to be between Alun-Wyn Jones and Maro Itoje and Owen Farrell, really. So at the end of the day, you need a captain who's going to be able to keep these guys together. And which better way than to have a man that has played a few Lions series. He's captain of Wales. He's probably the most capped lock of Wales. He's got the experience in all ways, because it is going to be really tough here in South Africa. They're going to have to work together in bubbles and isolations and all that stuff. And I think nothing against Owen Farrell or Maro Itoje, I just don't think that they would have been capable to really stand their ground in this sense. And I mean, to have Alun-Wyn Jones captaining this Lions side, what a privilege, what an honor for this guy. I mean, he's done it all except for winning a World Cup, really. So yeah, it is good to see that they picked the right guy to lead the side. I think it's a decision in the right direction by Gatland. I think this guy is just a phenomenal player, and He's been my captain for a very long time. I know you guys who do follow me on my channel know that I have said that Alun-Wyn should be the captain for this Lions series. I think it was a year, or time flies so quickly. I think I said it 2 years back that Alun-Wyn will be the captain of this Lions side, and he's been consistently good overall. Batty says Jones as captain, good call. So yes, that is a really good call from Warren Gatland to make him the captain of the side. It's like I say, for those of you guys who are following the announcement live on TV, will know what exactly is going on. I'm also following it, but I just can't really make out what has been said or not been said, because unfortunately I'm not allowed to have any sound. Otherwise, I might get pinned from YouTube and get a little warning, or even a ban from streaming for a while, and we don't want that. So yeah, so we're just awaiting the rest of the squad announcement. It should be coming in about maybe 5 minutes time, I think. So it's just really frustrating that they don't have a pure schedule put out so that we can actually see what is going on. So yeah, while I'm watching, I'm a little bit in the dark, but Alun-Wyn have been named the captain of the Lions squad. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Do you think Alun-Wyn is the right man for the job? Was there any other kind of candidate that you guys would have picked, maybe to lead this Lions side, except for Alun-Wyn? And lastly, do you guys think he will be able to play the full 80 minutes of the game? Or will we see maybe Owen Farrell or even the likes of Marler taking over the captaincy going into the second half? Maybe getting replaced by either James Ryan or, Johnny Gray, or even Tadgh for that liking. What are your thoughts on that, guys? Do you think Alun-Wyn will be able to keep up for 80 minutes in this Lions squad? There's the question that I posed to you guys. Can Alun-Wyn play 80 minutes? That's the big question here. No doubt in his captaincy ability and what player he is, will he be able to play that 80 minutes consistently in this three tests? Obviously, he could even play some of the midweek games as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see. From my side, I do believe he is probably fit enough to play around 60 to 65 minutes. Let's just see. I'm just going to go away for 2 seconds, guys, and I'll be back for the rest. Don't go away. Right, I am back, guys. So, for those of you who have missed it, the captain has been announced for the British and Irish Lions, and that is none other than Alun-Wyn Jones. So, the team announcement will be made real soon, guys. It's going to be really, really interesting to see who makes the cut. Now, I'm going to try and type as fast as possible to get this working for you guys, but in the meantime, they are busy having a few more chats. I just quickly had to listen to what Alun-Wyn Jones had to say, and he sounds like such a humble guy. I mean, he is not as confident as always. I know this is a total different scenario to captaining the Welsh side, but I mean, he is the most valuable player in this Lions team at the moment. And many people will take this as a disregard because your captain will make or break you. I mean, Sam Warburton, who they are interviewing at the moment, was such a valuable player for the Lions when he was captain of the side. And it was such a pity that he retired very early on in his career. I think he would have still been pretty good enough to make this Lions tour. I don't know what you guys think. Would Sam Warburton have been selected for this Lions team had he still played some rugby? But yeah, you can't look past this. Alun-Wyn Jones, captain of the Lions team, and the best choice that could have been made. So I know Gary Bevan said that he can play the full 80 minutes. I wonder, let's hope I'm wrong. It has been the question for quite some time, but I can tell you one thing that I've learned from the Six Nations this year is that this man can play 80 minutes and he can still make an impact even in the 70th minute. So a great call from Gatland there to select Alun-Wyn Jones as the captain for this Lions team. And I hate waiting, and at the moment they're making me wait for this announcement, guys. I know you guys also very eager to find out who the Lions team will be. While we wait, I'm quickly going to show you guys again who I thought for the back three should have been Stuart Hart, Liam Williams, and Anthony Watson. Is there anybody else you guys would have picked maybe in that back three instead of these guys? I know Gary Bevan said Simon Zebo. You probably would have had him as the wingers. So let me, while we discuss this, just add the wingers as well, because I did miss them initially in this lineup. So Louis Rees-Zammit would have been right up there for me. Let me just type it in. Josh Adams would have been there. Johnny May for me. Did I leave anybody else out here? Josh Adams, Johnny May, Louis Rees-Zammit, and then who was my other winger? I can't remember. So this is a bit awkward, but who was my other winger? In fact, I know the likes of even the Irish winger. What was his name? Lost for words at the moment. So yeah, let's just leave that for a second. Then at centers, I would have picked Jonathan Davies, Gary Ringrose, Robbie Henshaw, and Hugh Jones. Now, I know Hugh Jones would probably not be a very popular decision for many people, but I do believe that he would have really helped this Lions team out in the end. But I do get the sneaky feeling that Manu Tuolangi will get picked for the Lions team. And in my fly-offs, I had Owen Farrell, Dan Bigger, and Finn Russell combining. No Johnny Sexton this time round. Scrum-Halves, I would have gone with Conor Murray, Ali Price, and Gareth Davies. So another probably two surprises. A lot of people have gone with Danny Kerr for England, and then maybe Thomas Williams from Wales. But in the end, I just feel that experience is going to be vital against the South African guys. Then props would have been Tadgh, Furlong, Carl Sinckler, Zander, Fagerson, Wyn Jones, Joe Marler, and Rory Sutherland. So Joe Marler has announced that he didn't get a letter which is a little bit of bad taste from his side. So who the replacement's going to be is going to be quite interesting. Maybe Kane Healy from Ireland, even maybe Marco Vunipola, who's been in really bad form as of late. So it's all guys that can replace Joe Marler if needed to. Then Locks, Alan Jones is obviously going to be there. He's the captain of this Lions team. Maro Itoje, James Ryan, Johnny Gray. Then loose forwards, I went with Tom Curry, Talupi Faletau, Justin Tipperick, CJ Stander, Sam Underhill, Tadgh Byrne, and Hamish Watson. So, yeah. Bertie says Keith Earls maybe or James Lowe. So, I mean, Keith Earls, I forgot to mention. So, Keith Earls, for me, is probably one of the guys that might just end up going on this tour because he's been there for such a long time. And I mean, to have him not there, being as consistent over the past few years as he's been, could maybe be a slap in his face if they do go for Louis Rees-Zammit or any of those guys. But I do believe that we need kind of an X factor there. James Lowe, first season really has impressed quite a bit, but in the end, I don't think he will get picked just based. I don't know. I mean, there's so many non-European players at the moment in the side already, like CJ Stander. There's a Duan van der Merwe, Hugh Jones. All those guys could have been selected, but I don't think because of their nationality, they might get left out. I don't know. It's one of those things. The British and Irish Lions team need to consist of actual internationals that's coming from that side. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, can James Lowe play for the Lions? Of course, yes. I mean, Duan van der Merwe, James Lowe, Louis Rees-Zammit, those guys are the future of this Lions team. But I just don't think the time is right for Duan or James, maybe. I think the likes of Keith Earls might get the notch ahead of these guys at any day. So, yeah. But it is going to be really interesting to see who goes. I mean, we are speculating all the time at the moment, but at the end of the day, who he selects is who he selects. But personally, I don't think I'm going to be too far off. The only players that might get dropped from my team that I have selected would probably be Hugh Jones, Ali Price. Okay, Joe Marler is already out. Maybe James Ryan could get the boot. And then also in the forwards, I think Sam Underhill might just not make it because he haven't played a lot of rugby for a very long time. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think there will be too many changes to the one that I did give. What are you guys' thoughts on Sam Simmonds? Because I haven't seen him play that much. I know he's a fan favorite in England as well as a lot of European people. So, yeah, do you guys think Sam Simmonds should be in the side? Because personally, I don't think the time is right for him. Should he be selected? That is the question I'm posting to you guys now. Should Sam Simmonds be selected? What are your thoughts on that as we cross over to possibly the announcement here? Right, so this could be it, guys. Gary Bevan giving me the notch. It is on now. So I don't want to put the sound on too much. Okay, they are announcing some of the sponsorships first up. So I hope I don't get into trouble for this, guys. Can you guys hear any of the announcements being made on the television at the moment? Right. Here we go. So Josh Adams have been selected just now. Bundiaki has been announced in the side as well, guys. So that's the first surprise here. Dan Bigger in as well. Elliot Daly has made the side as well. Gareth Davies has made the side as well. So I will be putting it in as we go. Owen Farrell is there. Chris Harris from from Scotland has made it as well. Robbie Henshaw, he's made it at centre. Stuart Hawke has joined in as well, so no surprises there. Connor Murray from Munster is there. Ali Price have made it, so I'm spot on there. Let's see who the next guy is. Louis Rees Zammit has made it to the squad as well, guys. What a moment. Finn Russell is there. Let's see who's next in line here. Duan van der Merwe has been announced in this line squad, guys. Anthony Watson from England. Liam Williams, no surprise there. Let's see. Forwards, Tadgh. Jack Conan from Ireland. We've missed his name. Luke Cowan-Dickey's there. No surprises there. Tom Curry has made it into this line side as well. Next man, Zander Fagerson from Scotland. Talupi Faletau from Wales. Tadgh Furlong from Ireland. No surprises there. Jamie George from England. Ian Henderson from Ireland. So will James Ryan miss out? Johnny Hill from England. Surprise, surprise. Maro Itoje from England. Alun-Wyn Jones. Wyn Jones from Wales as well. Courtney Laws have made it to the Lions squad. Interesting. Ken Owens from Wales. Ooh, Andrew Porter from Ireland, the prop forward, has also made it. Sam Simmons, there's the name everybody wanted to hear. Rory Sutherland from Scotland, no surprises there. Justin Tipperick from Wales. Oh, Marco Vunipolo from England. Hamish Watson from Scotland. And that looks like the names, guys. So I'm going to try and get those names up for you guys as soon as possible. It should be a really interesting Lions tour. So there is quite a few guys that has missed out on this Lions tour. What do you guys think so far? So Josh Adams, Bundiaki. Let's just pause this for a moment. Otherwise, we could be missing out. Bundiaki from Ireland. That is a big surprise for me. Dan Bigger. Sorry, guys. I'm just typing real quickly. I will have this team up real quickly for you guys. So as far as the team goes, this is a very interesting one. And there's a couple of names here that I haven't thought of. or which I thought wouldn't have made the team. So there is quite a few names here that I didn't expect. So back three will possibly be Stuart Hawke, Elliot Daly. Let's just put him in there. So Anthony Watson is there. He's made it. 11J said is here as well, saying hello. So I'm good. Thank you, 11J said. We've now had the announcement of the British and Irish Lions team, and it's quite a big shock at the moment. I'm going to try and get this up real quickly, British and Irish Lions, because it's going to take forever to type it in. So I am going to have a look if I can find this real quickly for you guys. It should be really interesting. So I'm trying to really find it at the moment for you guys. 11J said has just given us a donation of £2.50. Thank you so much for that, 11J said. I will be putting up the team for you just now, guys. I'm a bit sorry about the delay at the moment. Just trying to find something that will help us get this lineup quicker, because it is quite a very intriguing announcement. There's a lot of players missing at the moment from this Lions side. And let's see, British and Irish Lions squad. But whelmed at the moment. Let's just see if I can find that names for you guys. But anyway, let's have a look at the backs real quickly. I'm going to read through it again for you. In the backs, we've got Josh Adams, who was in my initial side. And then Josh Adams, let's add him there. Bundee is a big surprise for me. What are you guys' thoughts on Bundee there? Because I didn't see this coming. Then Dan Bigger is there. Elliot Daly is another guy who's a big surprise at the moment. The likes of Gareth Davies was always going to be there. Owen Farrell was going to be there. Chris Harris from Scotland. So that is quite a big name there. And that comes at the cost of Jonathan Davies, who is not part of the side. And that is, for me, one of the shock players out of the side, because I always thought that he was going to be one of the starting centers for the British and Irish Lions. Then also, who's not there is Gary Ringrose, who has been omitted from the side as well. And Bundee is the man that's in there. And I mean, not a lot of people thought that Bundee would make it to the side at all. I, for one, didn't think. But now thinking of it again, he could be that guy who's going to replace the likes of Manu Tuolangi there. And in the other centers, so we've got Robbie Henshaw, and you've got Bundee, and well, that's about it. Chris Harris, Robbie Henshaw, and Bundee. Those are the three centers at this stage standing out for me. So let's put that up real quickly for you guys. The centers here is Chris Harris, Bundee, and Robbie Henshaw. And really, I didn't see no Jonathan Davies coming. I thought he was really going to be there. 11J said, asking, is Tuolangi in the side? No, he's not. Manu Tuolangi's injured, so that is probably why they've opted to go with Bundee to bring that presence of go-forward ball But now they're having the risk of having Bundiaki there and giving away some needless penalties, which probably would have been the case had they gone with Manu Tuolangi as well. But really, this came as a really big surprise to me. So Stuart Hawke is there, Liam Williams is there. Who else is there? Anthony Watson is there. Then Duan van der Merwe, who I thought they wouldn't pick, is there on the wing. A big surprise there. Elliot Daly also. I think Elliot Daly is joining the back three there. So the back three, let's quickly have a look at it, is Stuart Hawke, Liam Williams, Anthony Watson, and Elliot Daly. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I think Watson or Williams will probably go down as wingers for this team. Then let's quickly put together the wingers here. Josh Adams, obvious choice. Duan van der Merwe, Louis Rees, Zander, and who else is there in the side? So you've got Josh Adams, Louis Rees, Zander, and Duan van der Merwe there. So those are the guys there as well. As you guys can see, Josh Adams, Duan van der Merwe, and Louis Rees, Zander, probably along with Anthony Watson and Liam Williams and Elliot Daly, who can all make it to the wing position. 11J said, I wonder what Rassie and Nienaber thoughts are. Well, first of all, in this backline, they're looking pretty solid, but I think the first place where Rassie and Nienaber will probably find a little bit of a weakness will be in that center combination. Although Robbie Henshaw has been good, I do not really rate Bundiaki or Chris Harris as really big threats to the South African team. I might be wrong, I might be right on that, but no Jonathan Davies means that they don't have a playmaker at center. Robbie Henshaw, Chris Harris, and Bundiaki is all straightforward runners. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they take the approach. They might end up with Owen Farrell at center as well, which would make sense why they only have 3 known centers picked here. So we are going to go through the team in just a minute from back 3 to wing to center and down. Just trying to sort everything out at the moment for you guys. So Owen Farrell, Dan Bigger, and Owen Farrell is the fly halves here. So no surprises there at all. At Scrum-Halves, they did go with Conor Murray as well as Ali Price and Gareth Davies. So no surprises there at all. So I'm just going to forward this again just to see the full side there. Let's go and have a look at the forwards real quickly again, if they can show it real quickly for me. Though it seems like they're not going to, so I'll have to rewind just a wee little bit to see there. So let's have a look from the top there. We'll start at the loose forwards. We've got Tadgh there. Jack Conan is there. So that for me was a big surprise in the end as well, because he was nowhere on my radar to be selected for this tour. And then also Sam Simmons have made it to the side. What are your thoughts on Sam Simmons, guys? That is quite a big call. So having the likes of Jack Conan, Tadgh, Talupi, Faletau, Johnny Hill at lock, and then Courtney Laws have also made it, which is a really big surprise to me, although he can play lock and flanker, so it does make sense in the end. So the guys who have missed out is CJ Stander and Sam Underhill, who I had down as possible players to join in. So it's very interesting in the end that Jack Conan got the notch before the likes of CJ Stander in the side. So there you have your loose forwards. It's Tom Curry, Talupi Faletau, Justin Tupuri, Tadgh Byrne, Hamish Watson, Jack Conan, Sam Simmons, and Courtney Laws, which is a really interesting choice there. What are your thoughts on the likes of Courtney Laws, Jack Conan, Sam Simmons? Because the rest we all knew was going to be there. So looking at the locks real quickly, going down, any surprises there? Ian Henderson in the place of James Ryan. It was always a nip and tuck to see between those two who will make it eventually. But I didn't think that Johnny Hill would get the call up, to be quite honest. I always felt that it was going to be Johnny Gray, and Johnny Gray is missing from this lineup, which is for me a massive, massive surprise. No Johnny Gray in the British and Irish Lions side. Maro Itoje, Ian Henderson, Johnny Hill has made it to the side, but no Johnny Gray at all. Let's see if I've missed any names there. No, I haven't. So there you go, guys. With the locks, we've got Alun Jones as the captain, Maro Itoje, Ian Henderson, Johnny Hill, and then I suppose that Courtney Laws and Tadgh Byrne will stand in as backup on the locks there. So the props is another area where there's a bit of a surprise, because we've got the likes of, Tadgh Furlong is there. Then we got Wyn Jones. Then Andrew Porter and Marco Vunipolo is the guys that has made it. No Carl Sinckler, which is a bit of a surprise to me, because, I mean, for me, he's been a really good prop. We could see in the World Cup final when he got down injured, they almost immediately destroyed the England pack after he left. So Zander Fagerson is there, and Rory Sutherland is there as well. So no Joe Marler as well, which gives you the reason why Marco Vunipolo has been picked. So that is a big surprise as well. Going through that real quickly. Tadgh Furlong, Andrew Porter, Zander Fagerson, Wyn Jones, Marco Vunipolo, and Rory Sutherland. And then I also see that I missed the hookers as well. So the hookers, Jamie George, Luke Cowan-Dickey, and also Ken Owens. And that is your Lions team for you. And that is, as far as the surprises go, Jamie George, Luke Cowan-Dickey, Ken Owens, no surprises there if we look at that. So let's go through the side just real quickly. I've got it all under the right places now. So the back three, Stuart Hawke, Liam Williams, Anthony Watson, and Elliot Daly. So Anthony Watson would probably move to the wing there. They have gone with Elliot Daly. He was always one of the players that I thought could make it, but I just felt that they probably won't pick him. So quite interesting there. I think Stuart Hawke will start at fullback with either Liam Williams or Anthony Watson maybe going to the wing. It depends who they decide to go with there. Then going through the wingers, you got Josh Adams, Duan van der Merwe, and Louis Rees-Zammit. Now, realistically speaking, probably only Josh Adams who would be starting the test, maybe Louis Rees-Zammit as well, depending on how they go in the midweek games. But I think now more than likely it would be Stuart Hawke, Liam Williams, and Anthony Watson as the back three. That is just what I'm thinking for a first test. I might be wrong, and they could leave out Liam Williams for Louis Rees-Zammit, or even Anthony Watson for that matter. But it's looking kind of more likely that at centre it's going to be Owen Farrell and maybe Robbie Henshaw in partnership. Might be wrong, Chris Harris, also Bundiaki. No Jonathan Davies, though, guys. So that is a big, big surprise, in fact. Fly-halves, you've got Owen Farrell, Dan Bigger, and Finn Russell. No surprises there. Scrum-Halves, Connor Murray, Ali Price, and Gareth Davies. Called it spot on. Loose forwards, Tom Curry, Talupi Falatau, Justin Tipuric, Tadgh, Byrne, Hamish Watson. Then Jack Conan, Sam Simmons, and Courtney Laws are the surprises there for me. Props, we got Tadgh, Furlong, Andrew Porter, Zander, Fagerson, Wyn Jones, Marco Vunipolo, and Rory Sutherland. So the fact that Andrew Porter and Marco Vunipolo is there tells me that the fact that Sinckler as well as Joe Marler hasn't been picked, I don't know exactly what the thought around that is, but you could end up with Marco Vunipolo and Tadgh Furlong starting at props, and Alun-Wyn Jones captain alongside Mario Itoje, Ian Henderson, Johnny Hill. So I think that Courtney Laws will definitely be considered as another lock. So there you go, guys. This is the British and Irish Lions team. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is the Rugby Guru. Cheers for now.